So what was wrong with Bama in 2024? There was a lot of things wrong with Bama. You know, in the beginning of the season, you know, you got a few cupcakes you play, and Bama looked all right, but we really didn't know how good Bama was until really they didn't look good against South Florida, so that was maybe a sign, but their early test was Wisconsin. And coming away from the Wisconsin game, you're like, well, Bama looks pretty good. They look like a very good team. And then you got Georgia. And this game was just like the first half, Alabama looked like the best team in the country. And then in the second half, we kind of blew it. But coming away from that game, you're like, okay, Bama's offense is really, really good. And I think they're going to continue to be good because they're playing against one of the best defenses in Georgia. And they didn't look good. They didn't look bad against Wisconsin, Wisconsin don't really have a bad defense as well. Even though it's the South Florida game, Alabama's offense looked terrible at times. But you're like, well, they played Georgia and they played Wisconsin. Maybe they had things figured out. And I was thinking, yeah, I think they got stuff figured out. And I think that this Alabama offense is going to be really good this year. But coming away from the Georgia game, that's what I thought. Our offense looked good. But our defense didn't look good. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, we're gonna have to do the same thing on defense. We're gonna have to figure out our defense. We shouldn't have a problem with our offense. Well, the rest of the year, in the Vandy game, our offense didn't play that bad. It was we had some turnovers, but our offense didn't really stutter. Our defense looked even worse. So our defense was really the problem. I was like, we gotta get something figured out defensively. But in the second half of the season, our defense was the unit that got better, but our offense was the unit that got worse. So it's kind of like a flip-flop kind of situation here. So, you know, in the LSU game, I still don't think that our offense was good. We just exploited LSU's inability to stop a running quarterback. And our defense played really well. And then from then on out, in the Tennessee game, our defense played well. I mean, in the first half, we kind of didn't do much in the second half, but that was because our offense couldn't score. So I'm not going to blame our defense for that game. Our offense just couldn't get anything going. And then the Oklahoma game, our defense, again, I mean, we were playing against a terrible Oklahoma team. And, you know, some of these defensive performances, maybe they're a little skewed because, you know, the Oklahoma game, we're playing against a terrible Oklahoma offense. And in the Michigan game, we're playing against a terrible Michigan offense. And I really honestly don't think that Tennessee's offense is that great. So maybe our defense looks better than there really are because of the offenses we played. Again, the Auburn game, our defense looked great, but Auburn is not a good offensive team. So, you know, maybe that's why we look so good the second half of the season, but I mean, we look great in the first half against Georgia defensively. So I think our defense had the ability to be an elite unit, and our offense didn't. I don't think our play calling was good, and I don't think that we had the right quarterback to win a championship. Jalen, I'll give him a B- grade. I think he had a better season last year. He was just too he just really, he was a great athlete. He's not a great decision maker when it really matters most. I would say he's not somebody who can bring a team back. I mean, in the Vanderbilt game, he tried, but just couldn't do it. Couldn't get the job done, which it's not really his fault in that game because he scored. Maybe a little too. Well, he scored. The defense couldn't get a stop. So, but the Michigan game, definitely his fault. The Tennessee game, definitely his fault. The Oklahoma game, it's his fault. I mean, yeah, our offensive line could not block, but it's his fault. So every game we lost, except for the Vanderbilt game, was his fault. And you can't be, I mean, he's got a lot of wins under his belt. I mean, he played, probably the best game he played was LSU. But, I mean, he's not a passing quarterback. He's not going to go out there and pass for the yards we need to win a ball game. He's going to run. I mean, he was our leading rusher. Again, our offense could not run the ball. Like, we didn't utilize our running backs at all. So I understand why our running backs want to transfer. I mean, we just need we need to get a better offensive coordinator for next season. And I think our defense has the ability. I think our defense will continue to be great. I think I kind of like our defensive coordinator. I think he really got our guys improved. I saw improvement, but we'll see. We'll see what happens next year. I'm really excited, and I think the main reason why we weren't successful is our offensive line, quarterback play, and our offensive coordinator, and defense at times. But that's pretty much it, guys. Roll Tide.